Welcome to another episode of the Soul Minded Business Podcast. This is your host, J.D. Ross. Thank you so much for all our listeners out there. Thank you for the people that are our guests and the ones that help make this possible. So today's guest is Shruti Singh. Shruti started a program where she teaches arts and crafts to the special needs community. Had the opportunity to meet Shruti years ago when we taught her son martial arts. Shruti has two boys, one is special needs. And when I saw her do her artwork, it was like magical. I was fortunate enough to be involved in it and watch it. And the way she went about it, the just sense of engagement and her methods were just extraordinary. So on this podcast, we're going to have a conversation with Shruti about just how she does it. Shruti is an artist by nature. She loves it. She had her own jewelry business. And she is a resident of Fort Mill, South Carolina now after moving over here from India. And we just know you're going to enjoy this podcast. So listen in. So Shruti, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, JD, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Very excited to have you on here. So here's what we really want to pull out today, and then we'll go into a few other directions. So you've been doing some arts and crafts training for the special needs community.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate to see it, and it's really something special. And you have a tagline. What's it called? The taglines that you use at the end of every video?
Be crafty, my friends.
Be crafty. Yes, I love it. So what we're going to talk about is your arts and crafts program for the special needs community. I want our listeners to hear about that because I've had the opportunity to see it and be involved in it. And there's a bit of magic in it.
Oh, thank you.
That's why we have you on the podcast, is we want to hear that. So before we start, though, tell us about your background.
So I grew up in India, and I came here with my husband. We moved here in 2010, and I was pregnant with Ron at that time, my older one. And I have been I used to work in India, but I was always fascinated with arts and crafts. And I have not have any training, but I just explore. I have seen my mother doing some stuff, and I just got it from there. And when I came here, I had a lot of free time in my hand. So I started seeing some things, YouTube videos and all those things, and started making something. And people used to love it when they come to my home and they asked me to start something with that. So I used to make jewelries at the time, and I used to sell it on Etsy as well. I used to do exhibition and all those kind of things. And then with my second pregnancy, and then Ron had a diagnosis of autism, it all came to a halt because the direction changed. So after that, I started working with Ron, and whenever I used to work with Ron with arts and crafts, I used to see he had this huge smile on his face, and he loved doing scribbling with the painting or something like that. So I started focusing on that. And then I met this community of parents who have kids like mine or other special needs. And when this pandemic hit, so we started having Zoom sessions for kiddos so that they get busy at home. And I started having arts and crafts. And I saw that all those kids love to express themselves with the art. It's kind of what they, that sparkle in their eyes. And when they finish some painting or finish their masterpiece, that happiness in their faces. It gives me a drive. And then you approached me, and I kind of said, yeah, I would love to do that. So and I work with Ron, and we have a lot of paintings at home, and I work with my small one also. And it's kind of like the method which you give to these kids, and they will develop something new with it. And that satisfaction is like nothing in this world.
So is that what the magic is about it? Because I've been on them, and I was on one of your Zoom calls. What is it? Is it the engaging in the artwork? It's the pride of doing it? What's happening?
So it's like an art is not like science that you have to go in this specific direction to achieve this result. Art is an expression, and these kids love to express themselves, not with words. Some kids can be good with their words, but some not. So this is the best way to express themselves, and it gives that sensory feeling also, to express themselves in sensory field, and communicate themselves with those art pieces. So all these arts are unique in their own specific way, and you can call it a masterpiece, and that's what makes it special. Like, yeah.
So it's the lack of structure. It's almost like,
Yeah.
well, it has structure
Yeah.
to it because I've seen it. Because
Yeah.
you have steps you go through, but it's the expression without control or have it dictated, right?
Yeah, exactly. You give them steps. Obviously, there are steps, but yeah. But I don't define like your flower should be like blue or it should be pink. They can make whatever they want to, and it looks pretty. It looks beautiful.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So they are in charge of what they are doing. So they love about that. Okay, I can choose whatever color I want to. I can do it whatever the way I want to, but it still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it's like some items I'd want to hang on the wall. I mean, it looks that good.
Yeah.
Did you just kind of self-teach did you teach yourself to do this? Or here's what I say is because you have different means of expression. Like do you have different ways to do art? You have painting, and then you do some stuff with some glue. And did you get that from somewhere, or you just kind of tested it and found what worked?
The first one is Pinterest, you can say. The Pinterest is my teacher. So yeah, I find out few things which can work with kiddos, and some with my imagination, and then I just join them together and make what work with these kiddos. It's because you have to keep it like few steps, not like 10, 20 steps, because the kids will lose interest. Mm-hmm. So you have to make it short. And then again, it should not be boring. So there are a lot of colors, expressions, and things which are available at home. And I don't want to overwhelm parents to buy a list of things. So things which you have at home, so like bottle caps, even toilet paper roll, or just whatever paint you have at home, and then you can make something with that.
So Ron has autism. Is that his diagnosis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. The reason I'm going, Ron's just I feel about Ron, brilliant, beautiful boy. You know, he's so is your other son as well. I mean, I'm going to come to that. Sometimes we focus on Ron, and I don't often ask enough about your other son as well. But you know, with Ron, he is. Like when you were doing the arts and crafts, when he was almost like, okay, I think I'm ready to do something else. And you give him tips, but I watched him. He has way more understanding. Like he's aware.
Yeah.
Seemed to me like he's aware of everything going on. It's almost like he's kind of picking and choosing what he wants to engage with.
Yeah, that's right. He's very, what word I should say, vocal in the sense like he knows what he wants. He's not saying it, but he expresses it very well with his gestures, with his pointing things and all those things. But you can't make him do anything. So it's like, it's my way. So yeah, but he loves art. So I was giving him break, as you saw, like with reinforcers or something else. But yeah, he loves to do. That's why he sticks so much with it. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster. Yeah.
Yeah. A key was, you said it was short. So some of the keys where it was short, it wasn't boring. And then if he drifted off, you kind of just let him. What do you do if you see his attention span drifting? Because a couple of times he would just get up and walk off, but he would come back. Yeah. What do you do when you see, okay, the time's run out, he's going on to something else? What do you do?
Few things work, like if you say to him, like, if you finish this, you are getting something which he really loves. then he wants to finish the task. And sometimes it's like, okay, you want a break, you can take a 5 minutes break and then we will come back. And then he understands that. Oh, okay, I have this specific time with me and then I will come back and do my work. So yeah.
So it's like, okay, if we're not finished yet, if you defined, here's what it would take to be finished, but somewhere in the process, he gets bored and drifts off, he will come back if he knows he's not finished in it, right?
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've talked about Ron. Tell us about your younger son as well. I haven't spent as much time around him as I have Ron, but tell us about your younger son.
He's 5 and he's way more mature than a 5-year-old. Like he takes care of Ron like I have never seen doing kids like that age, and I have not taught him that thing. It's just a part of himself. He knows that his brother is different than other kids, and he loves to take care of him. He teaches him things like Ron doesn't want to listen to us all the time, but he listens to his little brother all the time. Uh-huh. So yeah, he teaches few things to Ron, and he even knows Ron has seizure also, like he has epilepsy. So my little one knows if Ron is having an episode, or how to calm him down if he is having a seizure, what to do and what not to do. And we have not taught him. He's just observant of that thing. Yeah. Wow. And yeah, like if his Ron is outside and my little one names is Rio, so he will hold his hand so that he doesn't run off. Ron generally doesn't run off, but still like he is peculiar to that. Okay, my brother will not run off somewhere, so he will hold his hand or something like that. Yeah. So
do you ever see that there's so much attention from others for Ron that the little one gets left out? So if you were giving advice,
yeah, sometimes it feels like that way. Then at that time, either of us, like my husband or I, will make a point. Like if one of the parent is involved with Ron, the another parent will try to be with Rio, so that they both get focus and not feel like I am left out or something like that. Yeah, but it happens sometimes. Okay. Because once you have a special needs kiddo, knowingly or unknowingly, you tend to give your attention more to that kid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed as you did the arts and crafts that you had a way of touching Ron. And I know sometimes, from what I understand, kids with autism have issue with touch. When you were doing arts and crafts, you would take his hand, touch his elbow and his hand, and actually help him paint.
Yeah.
Tell us about how that works in terms of touching.
So sometimes he has this sensory overload where he gets a paintbrush. He wants to just swipe it all the way around. So I just wanted to manipulate how he's doing it versus like doing it all in the camera. So if you just guide his hand a little bit how to do it, he will do it properly. So it's just trial and error. I saw doing him like that, and when I helped him, it worked. So now I know what works with him, what doesn't work with him. Yeah, but every kiddo has a different mechanism, and I am sure the parents will know how to guide the kiddo with that.
Yeah, that's where I said there was magic in it. I was watching you, and I said she's doing some kind of balance between guiding, but yet giving free expression and freedom.
Yeah,
and you knew just when to do that. Yeah. Now, are you still selling jewelry?
Not yet, but yeah, I'm thinking of doing it. Like maybe in a month or two. Mm-hmm. I'm starting with the school and everything. It was so overwhelming, but yeah, now we have kind of ease into it. I will start it little, yeah.
When you mentioned starting with school, you mean with the COVID adjustments, or?
Yeah, with the virtual schools and everything, because everything is now on parents. You are doing all the teaching to the kids, so yeah. So, but now everything has earlier it was overwhelming for all of us, but now we have come to it's a daily part of our routine. So yeah, it's not that bad.
So you might be selling jewelry. Do you have something you specialize in?
I'm working with resin these days. So I've started making paintings with resin and I really loved it. So I've started making sculptures with it, and I tried some jewelry and it came out good. So I'm thinking of again going back to Etsy shop and selling it online.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So what do you see as your plan for your arts and crafts? Because I know we're working together on something there, but it's really that good. And the way you teach them to do it is great. What are your plans for your arts and crafts business?
Um,
It's okay if you,
No,
don't
I
have
have
to be.
never thought of that in way because I just love to teach this kiddo. But now with schools and everything, those kiddos don't have time. I still sometimes I do yoga with kiddos on Thursday evening. But yeah, crafts has taken a backseat. But yeah, I would if I get a platform where I can teach these kiddos, I would love to. And it's something which I love to do. So I have not kind of a business thing in mind, but yeah, if an
That's
opportunity come, I will just love to do that.
yeah. When you say you had a place, when a place to teach it, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So well, let me ask you this: we've known one another for years now. It's been a real
yeah.
pleasure.
It's my pleasure too.
And you have a great you have a great way. And I was fortunate to meet your mom and your husband, and you guys just have a great piece about you. So it's just really shows that. And so this can be broader. The answer to this question can be broader than just the arts and crafts. But what do you see as the secret to success in life?
So first thing is if you are passionate about something, then only you can succeed in that. If you are just doing it for sake of doing it, you will. It's not going to lead you anywhere. So yeah, you should be passion driven, and you have to find your what you can say gift kind of thing, that which you are good at, and then do it consistency, and use ideas how to improve it, and never uh, afraid of failures. That's what I will say. Because yeah, there will be ways where you will get grieved, or you will think like you have lost everything, but you have to come out of it and do what you'd like to do. That's my
Oh,
thing for
wow.
this.
What a great answer. What a great answer. So, if somebody wants to engage with your program,
Mhm.
are you in a position to where someone can sign up or be in your program for the special needs arts and crafts?
Yeah, yeah, I can do that.
Is that through Facebook, Zoom calls?
Like I said, we used to do the Zoom sessions, but yeah, if somebody wants, we can. I can go for Facebook Live. Like right now, I'm not doing it because kiddos' school and everything. It's not kind of falling into this place. But yeah, if something comes, I can do Zoom or Google Classroom or whatever works for the kiddos.
Okay,
It will be
thank you.
better.
Thank you. A few things about people listening to the podcast is to really hear the magic about what you're doing,
Mhm.
what you see as the secret to success. To me, that works in any field.
Yeah.
It works. It's just the wonderful way to answer that question. So I don't want to blow up your business model and all 70,000 people, but it is such a valuable resource, and it's been a real pleasure to know you and also to have you on the podcast. So thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thank you, JD.
See you later.
See you.
That concludes another episode of the Soul Minded Business Podcast. As always, we wish you all the best and peace.